What did you like most about the way your team was able to play on Saturday?
Yeah, I think our guys came ready to play. I think we got off to a pretty good start with scoring on the opening drive. They very easily could have tied it up on their opening drive, but they ran a double reverse pass. That guy was pretty well behind our defenders, but our defender didn't quit on it. And Newton came down and made a great play on the ball. Their guy kind of double clutched it a little bit, so it gave him a chance to get in there, and we came away with the interception. And after that, it kind of snowballed, and a lot of things went in our favor. Guys played hard. Guys played very physical. Their quarterback's a really good player, and they had some drops, and they dropped an interception or two they could have had. So as opposed to 31 nothing halftime, it could have, should have, would have, but it could have been a lot tighter than that had they made a couple of the catches that were there for them to make, or maybe stopped a drive or two of ours with an interception. But knock on wood, the ball bounced our way on all those situations, and we got a good lead on them. And our guys played really physical, played pretty fundamentally sound. It was a pretty clean game. There wasn't a lot of penalties on either side of the ball, so that was good. And we won the turnover battle 3-0. We were able to protect the football, which is something that Pat and everybody been doing a really good job with. So, and we were able to create a few turnovers, none bigger than that one on their opening drive. But then Sapp had an interception. They had a drive going in the second half. We got an interception, and then we got a forced fumble and recovered that as well. So, it was great. Our defense came and rallied to the football. We got him a little uncomfortable, him being the quarterback, Craig there, made him scramble around a little bit, got him off his spot a little bit, but he can throw the ball. I mean, he put it on the money a few times, and thankfully they didn't come down with the catches. So, real excited to come away with the opening round victory.
Quick question for you from Steve. Go ahead, Steve.
Thanks, Rob. Thanks, Coach. Coach, congratulations on the win. Coach Fleming was talking about representing the CAA, as both of you guys are doing now. If you could elaborate on that as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's the conference that we all play in. It's the flag that we all play under. And, I don't know. Whatever. I mean, I know Flem, for an undefeated team in the CA to not get a first round bye, to me, other than happening last year against Richmond, I don't know if that's ever happened prior to the past 2 years. So I'm not sure what goes through people's mind. Like I said last week, when we're sitting there in the selection show, we just hope to hear our name, and we're excited for where and when it does come up. But for a CAA team with all the success and history a CAA team has had, whether it be, the national championships JMU, Delaware, Richmond, and Villanova have won, or the number of times that we've gotten to the Final Four, to semifinals, to not be in the conversation of being one of the 8 to get a bye. I thought for sure Rhode Island was going to get a bye, I guess is all I can say, as an 8-0 and 10-2 overall team. But I'm not on the selection committee, so it is what it is. So, we want to try to go as far as we can. I don't even know what the bracket looks like, to be honest with you. I don't know where we are compared to Rhode Island, but man, I would love nothing more than to have to play them down in Nashville. You know what I mean? So, we want to try to go as far as we can, and we're flying under the flag of the CA, so we're out there hoping to represent that conference very well.
Coach, thanks, and good luck to you. Thanks, Rob.
Yep. Thanks, Steve. Mark, we've talked about David Abbott early in the year, and then Jabril Mace had such a great finish to the year. But Saturday it was Isaiah Ragland who had his day, that big run on the opening drive, and then finished with 152 yards. Just talk about the game that he had, and we've talked about it all year, but that depth you have in the running back room.
Yeah, it's kind of the three-headed monster. Last couple weeks, it's just been the two of them. One of them with David hasn't been able to play, but it looks like he's getting better and maybe back as early as this week. We're keeping our fingers crossed on that one. But yeah, Jabril came in, and like we talked about when he was doing his thing, the opportunities that were presented to him, and we're splitting time with him and Rags. He did a great job. And now this week, Rags had his career best performance. He's the one that got that opening drive started. I think he went from 40 plus in the opening drive and gotten into the end zone. It's a very unselfish room. I mean, when Rags was running down for that touchdown, Jabril was stride for stride on the sideline. So, it's a great room. They're really tight. They're great friends, great teammates. And, Obviously they all want to have success, but they're just as happy and excited for if the other guy's having the success. Because bottom line is you win or lose as a team, and whoever gets the yards on that particular day, they're all going to get their opportunities. And then, however it plays out, it plays out. But this week happened to be Rags' day, and Jabril still had a pretty good game. I think he had 88 yards rushing, but and a couple receiving yards as well. But real happy for Rags because he's been doing it for a while for us. He's been getting a lot of those tough yards, those short yardage plays, and Mace has kind of gotten some of those, and David too, some of those open long yardage gain plays where no one maybe touched you. Rags finally got one of those on Saturday, so I know he was excited about that and was able to do it. But it's how they practice. It's how they practice. I think he said that in the post-game press conference. The linemen, practice really hard. The running backs, when they in practice, they take every carry to the end zone just to get used to getting there. And fortunately, he was able to get there on that opening drive.
Question for you from Griffin. Good morning, Griffin.
Hey guys, hope everyone's doing well. Coach, you talked last week about how, you had seen a whole lot of crossover Ivy League film preparing for other games this season. Were Caleb Moody and then Luke Colella, who obviously transferred in from Princeton, were they able to kind of step up and help you guys on film, learn Harvard's tendencies or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm sure the coaches talked with them a little bit as far as, Luke from a opponent playing against them as a wide receiver, talk about their defense a little bit. Caleb talking with Coach Bowden, our offensive coordinator, about Harvard's defense a little bit. But it's a new coach up there when Caleb was there. This is coach's second year up there, and Caleb's been with us for 2 years. So there are some nuances, there are some differences, there are some familiar faces up there. I know the DB coach was there when Caleb was there, Ryan Crawford. I know Ryan because we actually interviewed him for a position here a few years back. But there are some similarities. But again, with a new head coach, there's going to be some differences as well. So they helped when they were talking to the guys. I know Caleb was watching film with some of the other DBs a couple of the days, just kind of talking through some things. But we got to study the film and kind of go from there. And if you have an opportunity to get a little additional information, sometimes that's good, sometimes there's information overload. So you want to be careful as to, how much you're getting, how much you're digesting, especially this time of year, because we have every game of their season on film. So at times you can almost do too much. So we want to make sure we keep locked in with what it is we're trying to do from our perspective.
Along the same lines, Mark, Saturday, you faced a Lehigh team that you're more familiar with, that you guys have played over the years. 12-0, obviously have had a great year. I know you look at special teams a lot on Sunday, but just kind of talk about the challenge Lehigh presents for you.
Yeah, well, there's only two teams in FCS football that ran the table and went undefeated, and now we're playing one of them. So you got to tip your hat to them on that. And then you look statistically, and again, Rob, you and I have talked before. I don't get too crazy with stats. There's really three that concern me. Points for, points against, and turnovers. And they're doing really well in all three. They're scoring a lot of points. They're not giving up many. And their turnover margin is very similar to ours. They've given up few. I think we've given up the fewest in the country from, giving the ball to the opponent, but they're right behind us in that stat. So it's going to be a very evenly matched game. They're the home team. I think that's an advantage to them. But we have been in that stadium before. So, we're not doing anything different from a travel perspective. It's a pretty easy trip. I know you were just talking to Flem about the trip he has to make and the time of day he's playing. Ours is a lot different than that. Ours is kind of a normal Friday, and then we'll get up there and, it's a noon game. So we'll have an opportunity to get up and get started right away as opposed to sitting around in a hotel for an extended period of time. So some of the players on our team have been there. Some of the players on our team have played against Lehigh. Not that it matters because from one year to the next, each team's different. And I'm sure they're different than they were a year ago, as are we, even though there's a lot of returning players on both sides of the ball for both of us. But again, it comes down to who's taking care of the football, who's not making the mistakes from shooting themselves in the foot with penalties or something like that. And, who's going to play a more physical, more fundamentally sound game. And that's our goal.
All right, Mark. Good luck on Saturday. Appreciate you doing this, and hopefully we're talking again next Monday.
Thanks so much, Rob. Appreciate you
All
guys as well.
right. Thanks, Mark.